The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus spoke to the crowds and to his disciples, saying, "The scribes and the Pharisees have taken their seat on the chair of Moses. Therefore, do and observe all things whatsoever they tell you, but do not follow their example. For they preach, but they do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens hard to carry and lay them on people's shoulders, but they will not lift a finger to move them. All their works are performed to be seen. They widen their phylacteries and lengthen their tassels. They love places of honor at banquets, seats of honor in synagogues, greetings in marketplaces, and the salutation, Rabbi. As for you, do not be called Rabbi. You have but one teacher, and you are all brothers. Call no one on earth your father. You have but one Father in heaven. Do not be called Master. You have but one Master, the Christ. The greatest among you must be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted. The Gospel of the Lord.
Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning. Jesus begins this, or Matthew begins this account or his account of this event by saying this. Jesus spoke to the crowds and to his disciples, saying, and then he describes what he was noticing. The scribes and Pharisees have taken their seat on the chair of Moses. I like to understand this phrase that the scribes and Pharisees have taken their seat on the chair of Moses in two ways. First, this is Jesus' way of acknowledging that the scribes and Pharisees really have those important places, the seats, or the seats that are supposed to be that of Moses, that they have taken. So Jesus recognizes their authority because in a way they're like the mouthpiece of Moses. Dahil sila'y doon nakaupo sa upuan ng authority ni Moses, then they really have the authority. But then Jesus says they may have the authority, but they are not really doing what they're supposed to do. They may be the mouthpiece of Moses, but their actions or they're speaking what they're supposed to say to tell people, but their actions betray the very words that they are proclaiming. Hindi nila ginagawa kung ano yung dapat nilang o yung kanilang ipinapahayag. Hindi nila isinasakatuparan kung ano yung kanilang pinoproclaim. They simply tell people to do certain things, and yet they are not the one, they do not do what they are proclaiming. So even if Jesus recognizes their authority, even if Jesus recognizes that they are really men of authority, ang kanyang paalaala, kung ano man yung kanilang sinasabi, sundin, pero wag niyong tularan yung kanilang halimbawa. So that's the first way of understanding those words of Jesus, in saying that those scribes and Pharisees have taken their seat on the chair of Moses. pero meron din pwedeng maging pag-unawa. Yun namang opposite nung pahayag na iyon. Di natin kasi alam kung ano yung tono ng Panginoon nung kanyang ipahayag ang salitang ito. So, Jesus may be describing something that he finds offensive because scribes and Pharisees may not have the right to take those positions of authority, but they have still taken those seats of power, of authority. Di man nila dapat marapat na upuan ang luklukang iyon ni Moses, or it's like saying di man nila sila marapat mamuno, pero yun pa rin ang kanilang tinatangkang gawin. So this is Jesus telling the crowds and his disciples, itong mga to'y kumikilos lamang kasi sa tingin nila, yun ang kanila. Yun ang nararapat na para sa kanila. Kasi sa tingin nila, yun yung marapat na mapas sa kanila. Gamitin natin yung marahil na pag-unawa natin nito sa konteksto natin ngayon. Sila yung mga taong entitled or sa tingin nila ay karapatan nila na mapas sa kanila kung ano man yung lugar na yon, yung luklukan na iyon. Dahil sa sila, kung susuriin ang mga successors ng tinanggap nilang authority mula kay Moses o nagpapatuloy ng kapangyarihang nagmumula kay Moises. Di ba't si Moses ang naging simbolo tunay ng authority na nagmumula sa Diyos, having received the Decalogue from Yahweh himself. So kung gano'n naman pala ang pag-unawa, maintindihan natin kung we will understand what Jesus is warning the crowds and his disciples about. Hindi nakakatulong kapag ang pagkilos ng isang tao ay doon nagmumula. In self-entitlement. Maraming mga nagiging pagbagsak ng mga taong gano'n ang nag-uudyok na pagkilos. Akin to. Ito ang dapat na sa akin. Ito ang marapat na mapas sa akin. Dito ang aking lugar. Doon ang aking posisyon. Ito ang aking gagawin. Ito ang gusto ko. Ito ang marapat kong ginagawa. Dito ako dadaan. Doon ako sa una. Ito ang luklukan na gusto ko. Once we allow ourselves na gano'n ang maging pagkilos, kita natin ang authority, hindi na talaga yung nagmula kay Moses, kundi yung sa tingin natin, nasa sa atin. You do things the way you want to do it because you are entitled to it or you think you are entitled to it. We do things our way because we think that we are entitled to do those things. Kinakailangang mapas sa akin, gawin ko kung ano ang sa tingin ko ang nararapat dahil doon ako humuhugot ng kapangyarihang pinagkatiwala sa akin. Marapat lamang na maging gano'n ang aking pagkilos. So that's another way of understanding those words of Jesus. That he's describing something that he finds offensive. He's telling what those scribes and Pharisees did. They have taken that seat of power, of the chair of Moses, because they felt that they were entitled to it. And so they start to tell people what to do and do things their way. Sila'y gumikilos batay dun sa ganoong pag-unawa lamang. Kita natin kung paano ito tunay na nagiging offensive, hindi lamang sa kapwa, kundi lalo't higit sa Diyos. Diba sa maraming pagkakataon, sa ating pagninilay tungkol sa kapakumbabaan, ang ating sinasabi ay, ang isang taong humble, siya ay nagpapaubaya sa mas mataas na authority. Ang isang taong mayabang, siya ang authority. Because he does things his way. He only follows what he thinks is best for him. or he follows kung ano yung sa tingin niyang gusto niya at makapagbibigay lamang ng kabutihan sa kanya. But a humble person submits himself to God. Ito ang gusto ng Diyos, ito ang aking gagawin. Ito ang atas ng simbahan, ito ang aking kumuha ng kapangyarihan mula sa Diyos, kaya ito ang aking isa sa katuparan. We learn from this experience of Jesus and his disciples, from what they have witnessed, have been shown by scribes and Pharisees during their time. Tayo bilang tagasunod ng Panginoong Kristo, ang pinaguhugutan ng kapangyarihan at ang niyuyuko ang kapangyarihan ay ang kapangyarihang nagmumula sa Panginoon. At kung anong kanyang nais, yun ang ating isa sa katuparan. Let us now stand and present to God our petitions.